Here's a question, and I'm openly struggling with this one. How much space in a discussion is there for whataboutism? So, in how many situations can you go, well, this is clearly bad, but what about this? Not necessarily while using it as a counter argument, but really to say, well, what standard do we apply to these situations? And so a good example of this is the Romanian Prime Minister, whose name I'm probably butchering while trying to pronounce it, but it's Viorica Dăncilă. All the Romanians are going to laugh about me, whatever. She is being rightfully accused of mishandling at least the alleged corruption and also the measures against anti-government protests in Romania. As you know, Romania has had a couple of very complicated governmental situations, a lot of corruption in the country, at least by the perception index, and people are upset with the current government. Now, the party chairman of the Social Democrat Party in Romania is not allowed to serve as prime minister because he's involved in a corruption affair. Now, when accused of mishandling these problems, the Romanian Prime Minister, who's currently also the rotating president of the European Council, said that there's a double standard within the European Union. So we apply this principle of criticizing Central and Eastern European countries, but we don't do it when Western countries are involved. And she's not entirely wrong. She isn't. When we look at France is the best example, and that's also the example actually she gives in the Politico article that I'll link down below. She says that just when the French presidents and multiple ones at that are accused of corruption, and we are talking about alleged corruption, and in some cases actually affairs that have been proved to be correct, then there's no issue with that whatsoever on an EU level. Nobody criticizes France on an EU level. Nobody talks about sanctioning France or stripping it even of its voting rights. France also just passed new legislation, which I've written about, I'll also link down below, which are restricting the civil rights of people to go protest. It restricts the right to protest. It establishes lists of people who are not allowed to protest, and it gives police the right to blatantly search protesters, even though they have not committed a crime. So, if we imagine this happened as it has happened in other countries in Central and Eastern Europe, then immediately you have on an EU level your French diplomats and German diplomats and all types of diplomats saying this is unacceptable, we need to sanction this. Now the question is, and that's an open question, is if the European Union should be involved in this at all. But if it is, it has to apply the same standards to everyone. Because what we keep doing is we explain to the smaller countries and to the newer members that this organization is not about power. It's about having an equal say in the decision-making process. Which is why all countries are the same in the European Council. And what we are creating now is a visible double standard, where suddenly people realize that the European Union is really about power and its exercise of power by bigger countries, notably Germany and France. And this control leads to Euroscepticism, which I'm not against. However, Euroscepticism has many facets, and one of the faces of Euroscepticism is also far-right politics, which I'm very much opposed to. So I think that if EU supporters want to talk about corruption and civil liberties, they should, but they should do it consistently. Because what is happening in France right now would lead to sanctioning if any other country did it in Central and Eastern Europe. So I think there's a clear inconsistency, and I think the Romanian Prime Minister is actually correct in saying that. But let me know what you think, and thank you so much for watching.